Hello everyone, this is Tom from Dirk Witte Music Store in Utrecht, the Netherlands. And today we are taking a look at this very sweet, kind of cute little acoustic from a Gibson from the 1960s. This is a 1965 Gibson LG1 in its original sunburst finish. So the LG series was in production from the 1940s up until like the 1970s, I believe 42 up until 74, but there was also like the B25, which was basically like the same model with the same type of features. But the LG1 was pretty sure like in production up until the 1970s. And you had like various models. You had the LGO, so the LG0, which was kind of like the lowest tier, and then the next level up would then be the LG1, and then you would have the LG2, LG3. So you kind of like think of it as like the Les Paul almost, like that you have like the junior and the special and the standard and the custom. So then like based off that, this would then be like the Les Paul special equivalent, if you will. With some very cool and unique type of specs. Sounds very, very sweet, very warm sounding and very like bluesy, melancholic almost, and yeah, also just in a very fine playing and sounding condition. Let's dive into the specs. So with the Gibson LG1, you get an all solid wood construction, solid spruce top, and then solid mahogany back and sides, solid Sitka spruce, I believe. But what is unique on this model as compared to like the LG2 or the LG3 is that you get ladder bracing underneath this top, as well as with the LGO that would also get ladder bracing, but then that would get a mahogany top. But meaning that this sounds quite unique. It kind of sounds a little bit boxy, but very sweet and very warm sounding, but not with a ton of low end, because ladder bracing then refers to that the bracing really is kind of like braced like a ladder, so it's kind of like almost like in these like squares almost done. You can also see that maybe here on the inside of the sound hole, that this brace over here just goes all the way straight, as opposed to going in an X. X bracing would then like give you a little bit more bass and a little bit more low end, but then this does not have that, resulting in a very, very nice and very unique sound. There are not a ton of ladder braced models being made now, so you really get a very, very unique sound from this model, and I just think that it sounds very, very good, as we will hear so in a minute. We've got this very cool kind of like the larger style, almost like J45 type of a pick guard, which is original, made out of that faux tortoiseshell material. Got single ply binding around the top as well as on the back, and then also again the original sunburst finish. The bridge, pretty sure, is replaced, because normally back in the day these would come with a plastic bridge with the where the saddle could be raised and lowered, but this is not that bridge. So I'm pretty sure that this is has been replaced, which is very common to see, because like having a plastic bridge on an old Gibson, kind of weird, doesn't really feel very high end. So a lot of models of these have replaced bridges as well as replaced saddles, because that was also a thing that they did a lot in the 1960s with the type of a bridge that you could raise and lower, but that really didn't do a whole lot of good for the sound. So this has then been replaced with a rosewood saddle, which is also kind of like a unique choice, but you can see that original style of a slot for the saddle and then a wooden saddle placed in there. But it looks pretty cool, also works quite well. The action is a bit high, like a tad high, and that maybe also has to do with that bridge, because that saddle can unfortunately not be lowered a lot more, in case you really wanted to do that. But then maybe you can still like do some adjustment on the truss rod, because the action is a bit high. It could like use a turn or like a quarter turn, maybe even half a turn, in order to have it playing to your own style, or maybe you just really like the way that it plays now. But yeah, moving on to the neck, mahogany neck with a rosewood fingerboard with the original pearloid dot inlays, also in a very nice shape. Could very well be a refret, because these frets do look a bit large to be like vintage. but they are in a very nice shape, so you don't really have to worry about that. Good, you do got some minor divoting on like the first fret, but I'm guessing if I would have to grade it, I'll be like 80% left, so no worries there. As for the neck profile, it's pretty medium actually, not like all that big, but also not like very tiny or anything, actually just very nice feeling. It's kind of like a D shape, so with a little bit of shoulder, but all in all just a very nice playing and feeling neck. Got also then the original side dots over there, and a what appears to be a bone nut, which also could have been replaced because you do got some markings over there on the side, especially on the base side. So there is a good chance that that has been replaced, but that is actually also just a plus because it plays really nicely as is. And then also the very cool headstock over there, no breaks, cracks or repairs, so that's also very nice to see with your Gibson decal, as well as your blank truss rod cover. And then the 3 on a row tuners with the plastic tips. And then last thing to mention, also comes with a hard showcase, not the original hard showcase, but a hard showcase nonetheless. So that is also very nice to have, to take good care of this very sweet little acoustic from the 1960s. So a very cool model, plays really nicely, and also sounds very sweet, very unique sound, thanks to that ladder bracing. That is a sound that you really don't find a whole lot nowadays. So yeah, it just sounds really good as we're here. So let's dive into that part and hear what it sounds like. But first, if you're interested in this 1965 Gibson LG1 in its original sunburst finish, be sure to head over to the links in the description for further details. If you enjoyed this demo, be sure to like the video and to subscribe to the channel for more cool weekly demos of cool acoustic guitars like these, or cool electrics, bass guitars even, all of that really cool stuff. Also be sure to like us and follow us on the socials, Instagram and Facebook. Links are also in the description. With all that being said, let's see what the 1965 Gibson LG1 sounds like. I'm going to be playing you some chords and then some leads. I'll playing with the fingers so that you can get a good impression of what this very sweet little acoustic from the 1960s sounds like. So let's get to that part and take it for a spin.